Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I was just in the middle of a new photo shoot for my new LinkedIn profile picture. I actually couldn't decide if it was better with or without the glasses, but we can try without for now. And by the way, this is the casting couch. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And with that being said, what I want to cover today is my second month as a monetized YouTube creator, my ad revenue. So I saw some really encouraging signs from the channel over the past month. While it's not growing as much as I would like it to so far, and the views actually declined from the month of May, and the subscriber growth declined, the ad revenue more than doubled, which is very encouraging. And I learned a lot this month, a lot of really good things. And I think not everyone understands this who is a creator in this space on YouTube. You can still get to where you make decent money without necessarily having the biggest channel. It all comes down to RPM and CPM. So my watch hours aren't quite where they need to be actually to stay monetized. I'm trying to improve that, but they actually dropped from last month. I may get to where I start churning out more videos because I need to average probably at least double what I'm averaging at the moment. But let's get right into the real reason why anyone that watches this will be watching, and that's for how well this channel did in terms of ad revenue. So if I go to the revenue tab, the channel made $52.90 in the month of June, which is really awesome because last month I made $22. So, and also in the month of June, I had some really great days in terms of new records for ad revenue. So the first real spike in revenue, I made $4.16 on June 9th, which was a record for this channel because it had been as low as 50 cents a day, and it had been averaging about $1 and something per day, and then it dropped and then went back up, so like $1.32 some days. But $4.16 was really encouraging. And those of you following me, if you've noticed what I've started doing, I'm putting out a lot more content related to passive income, side hustles, and basically making money without having to work a full-time job. And that includes dividend income, options, churning options, rolling options, things like that, because that not only seems to go in accordance with what gets the most views on this channel, but those, especially passive income and side hustles and online income, those hit the highest CPMs that you're going to hit, even higher in many cases than personal finance. And so after this $4.16 day, the ad revenue dropped off to some embarrassing lows, actually, because I hit kind of a dry spot. Then it came back up. And then on the weekend of June 18th and 19th, it hit a new high. I almost hit $10 a day, which was awesome, $7.91. Never quite thought I would be so excited about making $7.91 in a day, but this was very exciting for me in terms of this channel. And I have to say, for being happy about less than $53 in a month, this money that I've earned so far on this channel, this is by far the hardest money I've worked for in my entire life. I mean, some people that are more cynical, they would say, oh, you could just make this, working a minimum wage job, which is true. But like I say, anytime you're building up any kind of a small business or something like that, or anytime you go into business or you're entrepreneurial in any way, you got to understand starting out slow. You're not going to start out at the top, and it's going to take time to build up. And you look at a lot of the popular channels on here, and it's taken some of them 3, 4, 5 years to get to where they are. And as you can see in this business, the sky is the limit. So after that, dropped back to my average $1.40, and then another spike, $4.54. And what I'm finding, even though I don't have that big of an audience on here and I haven't really grown that much, it was discouraging, but I lost some subscribers before I started recording this video, which was very disappointing. I was at 1,071, but I dropped for some reason. And actually, let me refresh to see if anything changed real quick here. Because I gained about 18 net in the month of June, and that's after losing several in the past month. So that was kind of disappointing. And let's just see real quick. Now still 1,066. So for whatever reason, I guess 5 people unsubscribed from me. So not cool. So we got to build back up. But YouTube actually rounds back up. So it's not an error if you see that. You know, don't go and say, oh, he says he shows 1.07 and he's at 1,066. It's not an error. It's just that YouTube actually rounds up. But I was over 1,070. But anyway, back to the let's see, these are views. So yeah, my views went down, kind of struggling hitting my niche, but in terms of revenue, at least I've got enough of a small dedicated audience that's into passive income and dividends and things like that, that the ad revenue is really starting to tick up for those videos. Because I've noticed, as I'll show you, the video that I did on side hustles has made me almost $10 so far. And then if you look the last month of June, $7.08. So that took me to $52.90, which is actually a 142% increase over the prior month. So, and then if we go down here, let's see. Okay, I'm on the revenue tab. Let me actually go to the actual revenue tab here. So this is more or less what I want to see. So my CPM is really high actually compared to many of the finance channels out there. And the thing is, in the year 2022, things are starting to change here a bit, where just the purely finance niche is not paying as high of a CPM as it used to. Really, the CPM is going more towards making money online, passive income, which includes dividends, covered calls, options, things like that. Basically, any way to make money without working a full-time job. That's what's paying the highest in terms of ad revenue. And that's what I'm really trying to stick to. Because from what I've gotten feedback on from people that watch me, at least that I talk to, the ads that are coming on are, have to do with, how to become a millionaire, things like that, which I put a video out on how to become a millionaire by age 30. Not saying I did that, but I know how, but knowing how doesn't necessarily mean that you've done that, just to be clear. So, but the principles I mentioned in that video have worked well for me. That's all I'll say. Don't want anybody to get any ideas. But the CPM for the month of June was $65, which is really phenomenal. I'm very happy with that. And when you look at sites like, some people use what I actually use TubeBuddy as well, which will show you different analytics on channels. This is the true behind the curtain look at the channel. But when you go to sites like, I think it's Social Blade, and when you look at, you type in somebody's channel and, they have the views similar to what I have, you may only see like $5 revenue, but remember, that's assuming an average CPM. Remember, there's all kinds of different niches on YouTube. There's gaming channels, there's cooking channels, there's, pranks, personal recreation, all kinds of different niches. And they pay a wide variance of CPM. But a lot of people pick finance because of the high CPM rates. That's part of the reason I picked it. But like I said, I'm finding passive income, side hustles, things like that are paying even higher. What always amuses me, and I've seen this several times, when you look up a channel and you can see that they were like a gaming channel in the past, and then all of a sudden now they're a stock guru because they're trying to hit that higher CPM. So when you look at sites like Social Blade, those sites are just basing on like an average CPM across the board. But in terms of finance, you're looking at a higher CPM. So you can actually do a lot better with less views. If you have a somewhat dedicated, smaller audience, you can get to where you can make a decent amount of revenue. So let me go lifetime here, since I've been monetized. We'll go last 90 days. So the CPM has come up from where it was. I think I was at like a $20 and something CPM in May, because I was focused purely on just financial related content. But since I've been focusing more on those passive income and side hustle topics, it's come up since then. And ignore the RPM, because the RPM is based on the last 90 days, which basically 30 of those 90 days I wasn't monetized. But let me show you here how the CPM went up. So it was decent the first day that I actually was monetized, 46.67, dropped to a more average rate. Then I hit 45, 47. So I had a couple of good days in the month of May. And then when I went into June, when I started focusing more on passive income, look at this. Look how drastically the CPM went up. almost $95 in a day. And I guess for some of these ads on here, I think the key, if your audience is really into what you're talking about and the ads coming to your channel actually talk about things that you're into, that your audience is into, um, they're going to watch that. And if they watch the whole ad, then those ad rates are going to be even higher, especially if they click on it. If there's a ad on your channel talking about like making so much money trading options, and then say somebody likes that and they click on it because they want to subscribe to the person's service or whatever they're selling. And that's another thing to watch out for in this space. It seems like everybody's selling something. I can swear, like, except for me, like I'm not selling anything. I just want people to watch my videos. But everybody, it seems like in this space, is selling something. So you got to be careful because you can really be ripped off. You really want to be discerning on who's legit and who's not. And that can be hard to do. I mean, I've even been ripped off on some things myself. But everybody like promises you, you know, pie in the sky. They promise you, you know, become a millionaire by doing this, follow that. And a lot of things revolve around like technical analysis and stuff like that, which I'm not sold on. I'm really not. I mean, I can look at charts and things like that, but the fundamentals can change from day to day. But I digress. So the point of that last minute rant is that, you know, this CPM revenue, when somebody, and obviously these days that it was higher, I had people watching the ads and probably watching all the way through, maybe clicking on some things, because I had an insane CPM rate a couple of days that it's like, wow, is that for real? It's awesome. And if I can hit that perfectly, this channel can really do well. And especially, yeah, the last day, and see, July 1st, I don't think it's updated yet since then, but $58, that's a pretty good rate. Now you'll see when I go back to just 60 days here, I'm going to go to the day that the channel was first monetized. So that was May 4th. May the 4th be with you, right, Star Wars fans? So May 4th to July 2nd. So you can see the RPM. And I believe that, again, this is after YouTube's cut. The RPM is up to a more normal rate. It's basically half of the CPM. So it's coming up, but you can see the $5 it was showing was skewed because 30 of those days were non-monetized. In terms of top videos producing revenue, the top 8 side hustles video that I did, the series iBonds, which I never thought this would be number 2, but this has like that shot up to number 2. And I just did this a week ago. And then the Google stock split, which has gotten a ton of views. So you can see there's not a direct correlation between number of views and revenue, because fewer people could watch a video in a higher niche CPM, and they could watch, I guess they could watch those ads all the way through, and that video could pay higher. Because I can tell you the side hustle video does not have nearly as many views as the Google video. I believe the Google video surpassed 300 views at this point, and the side hustle one I don't think has eclipsed 50. The series iBonds, I don't think that one has passed 50 either. And then the video that I did on 52,000 a year in passive income, that was about covered calls, spoiler. And you should watch it if you haven't, because that's a really, really solid strategy. And then one that I did on common options mistakes, and that one doesn't have that many views, but you can see the revenue is really good on that. So several of the videos on my channel have actually made money. Some of them not as well as others, but you can see the individual CPM on the different ones. Some of them are really high at this point, some of them not as high. And then, yeah, I mean, it's basically the top 50, anywhere from 6 cents to $8.53. So that's really awesome. And then the other thing that I mentioned in last month's video was that I was struggling with getting my AdSense account verified. Well, that finally got resolved. I'm linked up there. So once I make $100, which I anticipate doing this month, I can finally get paid. And I can tell you that first $100 that gets deposited, that will be the hardest $100 I've ever worked for in my entire life. And so that's really something. I would say I'm working harder at this, even though this is not hard work. I don't want to mislead and make you think, I mean, this is not manual labor. This is not digging ditches. This is not laying cables. This is not electrical work out in the hot sun. You know, this is indoors behind a computer screen, just talking for the most part. But I have put a lot of work into this. So when I finally do get paid, it's going to be really, really exciting. And hopefully that first $100 is the first of many to come. So with that being said, like I said, the AdSense account was finally verified. So that was good. Really learned a lot this month in terms of how CPM and RPM work in relation to views and things like that. And really looking forward to the future on this channel. And those of you following all the way from the first video I did in this series, you remember this sign I came up with when I made like 8 cents my first day. So another month has gone by. We got to update this again. Last month it was 23. Now we can cross that out, and officially we are up to, as a channel, $75 in ad revenue, which is awesome. Another $25 and we can finally cash in our first check. So $75 financial coaching. That's quite awesome. And what's really cool, because I write it small enough, I've got enough space on this paper to keep writing every month. So the future revenue will be written out on this paper. That's pretty awesome. It's like, you don't know what it's going to say because it's unwritten, but I'm holding the blank future in my hand. Really cool. Kind of a self-actualization, manifestation concept there. Anyway, with that being said, hope you enjoyed that. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And keep an eye out for my next couple of videos coming up. And I can't wait for the next month on this series. Thanks again for watching, and take care.